Hey guys, how you doing? Out here in the barn fooling around and trying to stay cool. I got two front fans running here. Somebody gave me this one the other day and I got that one there. The whole front fell off. We zip tied it. Oh, how classy is that? All right, what we're gonna do here, I've got to get busy. The phone's been ringing. The Black Brothers have been calling me. Steve-O, we need meat. We're gonna need meat this year. I said, what do you need? We need raccoons and we need wild pork. I said, you've come to the right place. I'm your man. So anyway, I'm going to make a couple more of these. This trap has worked out so well. I mean, it's as good as the Beefy Beehive. That's no joke, guys. Let's just test fire it for you here. Whoop, there's a can in the way. Get that sardine can out of the way there. I took two big boar coon the other day with this thing, and it's in need of repair, but I'm not going to repair it until it completely falls apart. But here's what you do. The coon comes in, of course, and he steps on his pan, and bam, it drops. All gravity, all works on gravity, no springs, nothing fancy, just hot roll, 1/4 inch hot roll here with a couple of fender washers on it. There is a screw here, just a regular wood screw. I put an 1/8 hole and threaded it in there. This thing is caught probably, since I built it, I'm going to say at least 80 coons, 80 of them. And I made these doors and floor pans out of all kind of material, and they just rip them up. That is a bullet hole where I screwed up. Okay, that's the reason. Otherwise, this trap would be fine and dandy. Don't go shooting this stuff with bullets because it will blow. It'll crack the plastic. But for whatever reason, coons are very tough on traps. Very tough. The only thing I had to do with this one is double the top wire. This wire wasn't thick. You can see I put there's two strands, there's two double wire on that. Single here, 1/2 by 1. Then I put 1/2 by 1/2 hardware cloth on the back side. They'll try to reach in, they'll do everything they can to try to get that baked. So you got to put the wire on at least up to here. Again, hot roll. There's a fender washer here that keeps this from sliding through, because when you cock this trap, there's pressure on the rod going this way, so it stops on this. You cut a little window here and it stops it there. Very simple handle, PVC where you can pick it up. 2x4s, I like this. Now this is a little bit beefy, but that's alright. I'd rather have it a little bit beefy. Another hot roll here for the door. All this is for hinging. It's just tie wire. Drill 1/8 inch holes here and here, and tie wire and twist it. And I put this piece of wire on. This is 1/2 by 1/2 going out to the end here to tie into this edge. And I build this whole trap like that and leave this top out last, because you got to get inside and get all these internal parts in here. And then I hog ring it together. Now I put a few hog rings on this to keep these two panels sandwiched up together. Deck screws here. I did dip this trap. This 2x4s are just plain 2x4s. No, I take that back. These are PT 2x4s. They're just old and ancient looking. This trap's been around a while. These rods here to keep this guide in here is made with these Tractor Supply rods that you use for electric fencing. Fiberglass rods. And you just drill a small hole, and I put a nail in there to hold that in the track. So that's that. It's a little heavy, but I usually just drive up to my area where I want and set these off. Now when I go to put them in the woods to avoid trap theft, I spray this whole trap flat black, and I camo them in with brush and stuff, so I don't get ripped off so bad. I've had them stolen. It just happens. But when you build these traps yourself, you know, you got time in it, but you don't have a lot of money tied up materials. You buy a trap like this, you're talking about $70-some to get it shipped to your house, when you can build these things for little or nothing. Now here's some more. I got a friend, if you know anybody in the sewer business, construction business, this is sewer pipe. This happens to be, I don't know. I'm thinking this is STR 35, the wall thickness. You've got 26 and 35. I think this is 35. I'm quite sure it is. And you can get this at Lowe's. You can get the SDR 35 at Lowe's. I think this is 35. But anyway, you can get this at Lowe's, but you got to buy 13 foot of it. And they will cut it in half so you can put it in your vehicle if you like. And but that's $34. But I got a friend, he's in the construction business, and I called him up and I told him I wanted 5 foot of it. That'll get me enough, you know, to do quite a few. Now see, this one here is bigger, longer than that door. To create these flat pieces here, all you do, I set it up and run a Sawzall right down through that number, because it's a straight line. Once you get that, then you fire up your heat gun. All you do is you fire up your heat gun, one of them things right there. And you can heat this up really soft and put a concrete block on it. Once you get it real soft and pliable, put a concrete block on it, let it cool, and it comes out in a flat sheet. And you've got a nice trap door and floor pan. Like I said, I've used stop sign material, I've used all kind of stuff, and this plastic, for whatever reason, they don't want to chew on it. I've made them out of wood with sheet metal, and they just rip them right out of the floorboards. You spend more time repairing your traps than you do catching meat. So that's that. Now, put the camera in the holster here, show you what I got going on here. I've got some 4-inch thin wall, and you want to see this, I cut with a saw. You see how jagged and roller coaster that is? I said no, that ain't the way to go. So what I did, went out to chop saw, set it in a chop saw. Now you've got some nice cuts here. This is 5 inches. This, by the way, is experimental. I take that back. That's 4 3/4. What have I got here? Supposed to be 5 inches. This will be fine. That one's 5 inches right there. I got a wavy part here. This will go in the ground, and this will come up top. All right. What else do I have in my little goodie bag? I got some of these things. These look brass. I'm sure they are brass. You're going to take 2 of these per trap. This is for catching wild pigs by the foot. Okay, there it is. Now, do the same thing as I did with this other trap over here, melting, heating up with a heat gun. You split this right here, and you start heating this up until you get a flat piece. Here's one right here. And what you do, once you get it flat, you take your pipe, you set it down, you got a flat sheet. Once you open this up, say you cut this thing 5 inches long, you split it, you heat it, you flatten it. You get 2 of these discs when you do that. So what you do is you set it down, you set it on top, grab a Sharpie, go on the inside, trace it out. Once you got her traced out, you grab This stuff cuts really nice with a pair of tin snips. You can go right around and cut this stuff. No big deal. Cut that right out. That created this circle. Here's my circle. Spray painted it flat black. What does it do? It sits here and teeter-totters. Okay, this thing is going to get buried into the ground. And now I'll put some leaves and a little slight skim of dirt over this thing. So when the pig comes over and steps on this, I'm going to demonstrate this in a second. Here we go. Now these things here, they make out there two kinds. They take like a wolf trap, steel trap, with this setup on it, right here. This is compression spring on here. I don't know the length of this, probably 36-inch spring. It's a little overkill. You really don't need that much. It's got 1/8 cable. And you've got a lock here on this. It's got a little bit of cushion here. It's also got a stop on it. So when this zips in, boom, like that, it comes up against that stop and won't close any more than that, which is kind of good because you can get your finger in here like this. Now, to caulk this thing, take a piece of PVC pipe here like this. This is 3/4. I've got a hole, an 1/8-inch hole drilled here in that. I've got a nail here, number 8, with some survey ribbon on it so you don't lose it in the dirt. It will go in this hole. All right, so now what are we going to do? We're going to pass this cable, the tie off end, which is going to go to your tree, actually to an extension. I put a 10-foot extension on this thing. Okay, 10-foot extension on this thing. Now what you're going to do here is pull back on this spring. Pull back on this spring, and you're going to drop your nail in here like so. You let go. All right, you'll see why I did that in a second. Got your nail in there. That's holding that compression spring back. Then you're going to go up onto a tree, or you're going to put a nail in a tree if you don't have something. And you just pull back on this thing. Pull back. Do you think you got enough? Take some vice grips. Don't smash it too hard. You don't want to ruin your cable. Okay. Now you've got it held like that. Now you're going to open this up to your desired loop size, and you're going to slip this over your pipe. And then you hit the deal, boom. Now you've got this thing caught here. Now you've got all that tension of that spring pushing back against that little snare lock right there, right? So now what you do is you bring this up close to the top. Bring this cable up close to the top, because when that wild pig walks through here and steps on that, you don't want it traveling very far. You want it to roll off of these 90s and catching. So here comes your pig. He's coming along. He steps on this thing. Boom. It's got your pig by the foot. And you can see, just with his forward momentum and he's sticking his foot down, it's coming up way up above his hoof. Now, the only problem is here with this operation, you can catch a deer with this thing. So I suggest you use stinky baits, rotten corn, stuff like that. So the only thing that's going to be firing this off is coons. Now where I'm going with this thing, with this trap, there's lots of coon. Now they could be firing this off. Not too big a deal. I'll be catching them. with that trap right there. The Florida coons are not worth anything, the hides. It's a joke. Thanks to all the bunny huggers on planet Earth, hides are just about a thing of the past. You know, the guys from Alaska and whatnot, I guess they still get some money for their hides, but raccoons, Florida, you get $10 a piece for them all day long. Is it legal? Yes, it is. Is it legal to catch pigs and sell the pigs? Yes, it is. So that's what I do. I catch pigs, raccoons, and catfish. All right, so that's how it's done. Let's cock it one more time so you can see it. I should have pulled, I made a mistake. I should have pulled that out after I fired it. Okay, so we're going to do that again. We're going to pull this back. Take your vice grips. Bada bing. Like so. Now you got that. Now you can release tension on your lock, snare lock. I'm thinking the way to go is to put this lock in the back here where your two L's are. All right, now I'm going to trip this. Just reach down and unsnap it. Bring this up. Pull your nail out. That puts all that tension now. Don't forget to do that once you've tripped it. The only reason you got this nail in here is, of course, to hold the compression spring back at this barrel front right here. Then when you hook on your peg, you nail in your tree or wherever you're at, you pull this dude back, and that holds it. And then you put your vice grips on, set it over, trip it, then pull your nail out. Now you've got all that pressure. And there's a lot of pressure on this thing. You can buy this spring setup, by the way, from those trap places. You can actually get them on eBay. They got several sizes. One's for a 330 conibear, one's for a 220 conibear, and so forth. Now, you can take this whole system and not only catch wild boar with it, but you can catch bear with this thing. For bear, you'd probably want to go, you could probably get it, you might get away with a 6-inch, but you could get an 8-inch sewer pipe and cut it 5 inches and create the same deal. Okay, so that's that. You're going to bury this. Now, this cable, you can see I got extra cable here and spring. I don't want this in the dirt. I'm going to make one of this PVC pipe where it'll just about sleeve this entire compression spring here. It'll actually sleeve it all the way to here. So I'm going to end up probably, I'm going to guess a compression spring about, I don't know, I'm going to go 26 inches will encase this spring, because I don't want dirt and stuff getting on here. Now, this end's got a loop. You're going to add another 10 feet of anchor cable going off to a tree, and you better have a tree about this big around at least, or bigger. These hogs are extremely powerful. So at least with this system, I have not come up on a dead pig yet in my snares, but it's just a matter of time before I do. I've caught them around the nose, I've caught them around the shoulder and neck, I've caught them around the belly, I've caught them around the neck. And it's unbelievable how hard they can hit the end of this cable. When they hit the end of this cable, this thing tightens, keeps tightening, and it doesn't back up. I've had them around the neck, and you would think they would just choke out, but they don't. At least I haven't yet. So here we go again. We're going to let this thing fire so you can see how it goes. He comes along, he steps on there, boom. Look how hard that thing, fast and high that thing set. So you're going to be well above the hoof. All right, so we got to get going. It's something I do every year. Do this every year. right through to March, and I'm going to start baiting, pre-baiting this week. Start getting the critters in, setting up motion cameras to see what I've got, and we'll get into that action. We'll start making meat. That's what we call it, making meat for the brothers. All right, be happy. I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye bye.